I love you, the good woman in Caroline.
Hi, I'm Gask. I love you too.
Okay. I would like someone, this is worksheet 5 and worksheet 6. We're going to be writing trig functions today, modeling actual life circumstances of things, situations. So we're just going to warm up by practicing writing equations for these 4 super easy questions at the top. But I am going to force you to use the tablet.
I want to do it.
So that when the magical day comes to be evaluated, I can pass the tablet and make some of you do some questions. So we're going to practice once in a while. Pick a pen first, though.
Pick the red one.
Blue.
Joe, pass it on to somebody else. But you should all be writing those 4 equations on your paper, please. Wait.
We shall write them. I shall write.
So wait, what do I do?
You write the equation.
Roger that, roger that, roger that. I got you, I got you.
These 4 are all very easy. You can do it.
Oh, why is it black?
It's on YouTube, and the notes are posted on Edline.
What's that? That's 2x.
I thought that was right. No.
Hey, it's ugly. It has to be pretty.
I explained how to color it, but yes.
I think you write down.
Am I doing one and then passing?
Yes, please do 1 and pass.
Hey, please do it. I want to do it.
Do it, do it.
Oh, you did very nice printing. Good job.
I know, I know.
Like, if you go the opposite direction, you can see that it's like pi. It's just like the
Wait, let me do some math real quick.
Oh, perfect. So, dang it.
Can you not like put your hand on it? Because
You can, it doesn't bother when I do my hand. It just goes by the tip of the pen. It's
Perfect.
not pressure, it's just.
Okay. This is over there. So, it's just regular, right? Yeah, it looks just regular.
On the back of the page sheet, it says something about it.
wait, I need to write my name.
There you go.
This is a different. Yeah, this is different. How do I look at
Elizabeth the blue.
What does that say? Scribble, scribble, scribble?
Derek the red.
Ah.
Oh, her signature was amazing.
Everybody got those 2?
Yes, sir. Yo.
I don't. Why?
Oh, look.
All right, number 3.
Next we'll go to Scott Kirker.
You're green.
We won't laugh too loudly.
You know you're bigger.
I told my son last night that I have a student, his name's Scott. He reminds me of my son because he always asks, well, could we have done it this way?
How old's your son?
He just turned 19. He's a Rock Valley graduate already. He did that Running Start program. He's still taking classes though.
It's good to be carried.
Do you ever talk so like naturally playing out of the classes?
A little bit.
As much as-
Probably more with you guys.
I think she was talking
Part of it is
about-
it's a small class and,
Is that a theta?
okay? Theta over 2 or just a 1/2 x would have worked, right?
This way. I'm actually.
The bigger.
We want to show something.
Uh-oh.
At least not show something.
Pick green. Pick green.
Should I be scared?
No.
Black. Wait, you can do other colors at the bottom. Whoa. You can put your hand down if you want to. Copycat.
Did you pick a pen? Yep, okay, you're good.
Oh my god.
Good job. Well, you write like my son. Make your letters goofy.
Wow. Wow. That's so
Oh my god.
You're trying.
That's all right. It's good. I can read it.
Also, Brandon is pretty sure that you can also do it this way, which I'm inclined to agree with them.
5 cos.
That's
Dang it,
nice.
no, it's not cos.
Why you start from the bottom?
I don't know.
Is it theta?
Theta.
That looks like a zero.
Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, it is a plus. Yeah, plus. And then there's a sign for parentheses.
You can't have theta minus x. Is that what that says, or what does that say?
That's just theta minus x. Well, unless it's theta plus x.
No, it's theta plus pi.
Plus pi.
Okay.
My mind
It says
says
pi.
I don't know.
I don't know what it
Doesn't-
says.
oh my
I
God.
don't know what he's
Like,
saying.
What are these?
Yes, you could do it as a. Woo!
What are you doing?
Stop!
Why?
Stop!
Why?
Stop!
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
This.
Yeah. You know what? Just for fun, recognize as math.
Is it possible?
And unable to recognize, okay? Recognize as.
Is this shape?
Oh, here, there's a word. It says it's scoot. All right. We had our fun. We're recording. We need to go on. All right. I'll take it.
I have oh, I can't do that.
Elizabeth is losing it.
Okay. We are going to model the tides, and we're going to do this on our calculator. We're going to go ahead and graph on our calculator, and then we're going to figure out where it hits maxes and mins for low tide and high tide. So pull up your calculator and I typed it like this and it worked. I'm a little concerned that if we don't put some extra parentheses in there, it's gonna think the 6 and the x go in the denominator, but I'm not really positive about that.
Can you do pi x over 6?
Yes, you could do pi x over 6 and that should work.
I didn't know how to do this.
What mode should we be in, guys?
Gradient.
Okay?
That's pretty rad.
All right, guys, I warned you it's Friday, but I would like you to not be talking so that the... Also, someone can remind me to stop recording at some point. The last time I recorded the lesson, Mariana, on Wednesday, I recorded like 20 minutes after class got out. So you may hear random talking.
Like, what is it called?
It's just under my name, but I'll write it down for you so that you spell everything right.
I can't find this. It's not doing it.
Okay, window. What's an appropriate window if this is hours since midnight? What do you want to see?
24.
I did 0 to 24. That seemed like a good idea to me.
I enjoy it all.
And can you look at the equation and tell me what the maximum is going to be?
I said 25 is the maximum.
Okay, 25 is the maximum because it's up 20 and it goes up 5 and below and down 5 from that. So we could put like 30 as our max window.
30.
Yes, we can tell how often it is repeating. 2 pi divided by pi over 6 would be 12 hours. So it is doing this every 12 hours.
It's
Um,
just like, it's just the plot. I don't know why I said.
is it a stat? Go to stat plot. Do you have a stat plot on?
Maybe. Yep, yeah, I do. I'm dumb. That's okay. The homework's so hard.
Okay, guys. Can you find the maxes and the mins and figure out what that is interpreted in terms of high tides and low tides and the time at which they occur?
Oh, I love this.
High tide.
Max is high tide, min is low tide.
Yep, that
Max
seems
is
right.
25. Wait, I already know
Max
this.
is at
It
12.
occurs every 6 hours. I'm assuming.
Well, the change occurs in 6 hours. So the high tide is at 12, which is the max. Yep. And then the min is the low tide, which is
At 18.
Okay, what does 18 mean?
18 is when you have the second low tide, and 6 is when you have the
Min
first low
is low
tide.
tides, and then midnight and noon are high tides.
You do 0 to 24, it's like hours in a day. And then,
All right, there's the min. What time and what depth is the water at that time?
At times 6 hours and the depth is 15.
Okay, and 6 hours after midnight would be
6 a.m.
6 a.m. and it's at 15 feet. Okay, the next high tide, besides the one I think we started at a high tide, but what's the next high tide?
Is
At
that
noon.
Yep, and that, it shows up as 12, and we had a big discussion, is it 12 a.m., 12 p.m.? I just wrote noon. I'm pretty sure it's p.m., yes.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Because if you just think it's 12:01 would be
Yeah, because
p.m.,
12
so.
a.m. is midnight,
Well,
so
yeah.
PM.
All right, and what is the high tide at?
25.
25 feet? And then it has a low tide again at what?
6 p.m.
And so on, high tide. Now,
Wait, no, because the high, the next one would be 12 a.m. and that's the next day.
yeah. Now, is this accurate?
I don't see why.
Is the, are the tides exactly every 12 hours, high tides? No. Otherwise, we would never need a tide table or calculate, they'd just happen every day at exactly the same time, right?
Could be fancy.
What affects the tides, guys?
The moon.
The moon, and the phases of the moon aren't exactly equivalent on our calendar, right? We had, it's like every 29.5 days or something. So it's less than 24 hours if you divided it all out. All right, that's all we're gonna talk about, because I will start sounding really dumb because I don't know anything more than that. Okay. We need to write an equation for this. Could you raise your hand if you can tell me one thing about this graph?
There's a cosine.
Austin?
What is a period of 1.5 minutes?
Sorry.
Good job, Victor.
The amplitude is what? Okay. Max minus min divided by 2 comes out to be 15.
The cosine.
Eric says we should do a cosine. Lizzie says let's make it a negative cosine, and then I think we won't need a phase shift.
It starts at 20. That's like the thing.
Period
So
is
upside.
1.5.
I don't think the period is 1.5. Yeah. It's exactly hitting here. It does, in 2.5 minutes, it does 2 cycles. So if we divide that, I'm thinking we're supposed to use 1.25. Now, that's the period. What's gonna have to go into our equation, though?
Well, the answer would be 2 pi over 1.25.
Yeah, B is gonna need to be 2 pi over that. All right, we're in pre-calc. Let's do 2 pi divided by 1.25 is
5/4.
5/4, so 2 pi times 4/5 would be 8/5 pi, yep, okay.
Horizontal
I'm missing a vertical shift.
Oh, vertical. I don't know.
Vertical
None.
shift is up 20.
Wait. Oh, that's not.
It is halfway between, right?
20.
Or you could do max plus min divided by 2 to find the vertical shift.
That makes sense. I said horizontal. I'm not like this is horizontal.
Vertical shift is up 20. Do we need a phase shift?
No,
No.
we're doing cosine.
All right. Shayla, can you put part of it together for us? Or all of it? What did you get?
Oh, we have this. Just hop out. If this is write a sinusoidal equation, do you use sine or do you use cosine?
When it says sinusoidal, you can use sine or cosine. That's a great question. I didn't explain that vocabulary, and I did in the other classes. Sinusoidal simply refers to any sine or cosine function rather than you saying that. They just call them all sinusoidal functions, okay? It means something that's repeating. Like that. What's wrong with mine?
It needs to
It
be
needs to be
negative.
negative.
Yeah, I forgot the negative. All right, we could graph it on our calculator to check.
No.
You want to just take my word for it that I think we're good?
Yes.
All right. This question is a little more complicated, but I think you guys can help me determine a few things. If the radius is 22 feet right here, okay, and it's 49 feet above the ground, and it says we're going to start right over here. Now, I have a model for you to look at. Okay. Watch that long enough and we'll all be nauseous. This is a Ferris wheel. It's going the opposite direction. I think actually that I can change the direction on this crazy thing.
Click the pulley. Oh.
Okay. So as it goes around, this seat goes higher and then lower and then all the way down to its minimum and then it starts back up. Now if we graph that just the height, it would be doing just up and down. It would start at the same places, right? Doesn't ever go. But if we do it as a function of time, as time goes on, it's going to go up and then down and then back up and then back down, and we're going to get a sinusoidal function. Okay? Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
All right. So for this particular function, it says we can go ahead and start our stopwatch right here. So when we do that, we're going up. So we're just going to say I'm going to start here, and I'm going to head up. Okay. Can you tell what the maximum height it's ever going to hit is?
71. No, 61.
22 plus 49 would be 71. Now, why is the minimum not 0?
Because it's on a pedestal.
Okay. Is the minimum of a Ferris wheel minimum height ever 0? It'd be a pretty rough ride if it was, right?
Because you'd be perching.
You'd be hitting the bottom.
And it would still be 5 feet.
Okay. What is the minimum of this particular Ferris wheel? Yes?
Yes, it is.
If we go down 22, the center's at 49. If we go down 22, we're at, okay, which my graph is not proportional here. What can you tell me about this point right here?
20, no, it's 26.
It's 49.
What she said.
It is 49. So what is the radius actually equivalent to for this question? Can anybody figure that out?
Amplitude.
You guys are quick. The radius is going to be the amplitude, which in our case is going to be an amplitude of
22.
22. What else can you tell me?
It's constant speed of 13 pi. Well, for 18.
Yeah, we'll get to that part. That part's kind of painful. Okay. Yes, the vertical shift is going to be the height of the center of the Ferris wheel.
V shape equals
In this case, our vertical shift is going to be 49. Because of when we started timing ours, we could use which view, if we want to call it that, which shape function. We could use a sine. Okay. I think we just need to figure out the period, right? All right. This is what we're going to do. See if anyone can help me with this. You're fine. You're driving, right? That would be great. Thank you very much. Okay.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
No, I didn't go on the box. Dang.
All right, guys. 13 pi over 18 is radians per minute. It is an angular velocity. If we want time alone along here,
I have to move
get rid of the minute.
Okay. If I multiply it by radians, I'm going to get radians squared per minute.
So divided by 2 pi?
If I divide it by radians, what's going to happen?
You get this minute.
But the minutes are where?
And
In the denominator.
So minutes squared?
Anybody have a better idea?
So how about we still the opposite? The inverse. No, never mind.
How about that? 2 pi divided by that would become 2 pi times 18 minutes per 13 pi. These were radians. The pi cancels. I get 36/13. So the point at which it finishes is 36. Whoops, that's not what I wrote.
That's fancy.
36/13, which is about how long to make a revolution, guys? 13 would go into 36, almost
3 times.
3 times. Okay, so it takes about 3 minutes to go around once.
That's a while.
Okay, now you're gonna hate me
18 over 13.
because we did all that work, and now we need to find B.
Oh,
B is equal to 2 pi divided by
done.
36/13,
13 over 36. Wait,
That
what?
would be 13
Oh.
over 18.5.
which is 2 pi times 13 over 36, which is 26 pi over 36, which reduces to.
13 over 8.
So this is actually our B value that's going to go into our equation. But
Fancy.
that wasn't much help. We could have come up with the equation, but then we would have had to figure out from the graph how long this took. Yeah, how long the period was. I am not going to give you a question like this on a test or quiz where I give you the angular velocity. I would tell you the period is 10 minutes, okay?
We made s'mores in chemistry.
Ooh,
Yeah.
thank you. You're so sweet. Nummy, nummy. I will eat part of
I
it.
hate s'mores.
Oh, I love s'mores. Love.
They're all beat up with
Unfortunately, I don't want to know how many Weight Watcher points that is.
Okay.
All right. So can anybody help me write the equation? What's the amplitude?
22. Sine.
Sine seems like a good idea. We decided the B value was going to
13
be...
5 over 18.
18 times X. And then plus 40.
We didn't need a phase shift, and the
21.
center was up 49. What I started to say, guys, was I will not give you a question like this where I give you the angular velocity. I will tell you, if it takes 10 minutes to make a revolution, so that you know exactly how long that period is, and then you can find the equation. Does that help? Because that angular velocity business was kind of crazy. All right. Can you graph it on your calculator? You should be able to figure out what the window should be here. You do want to go out, it's a long ways, but you want to go out to 16 minutes because it asks you to find the height at 16 minutes. This is a giant Ferris wheel, by the way, guys.
It is huge.
Why is
If a height of 70 some feet, was it 70 some?
27.
That's like 7 stories up. Yeah.
They're still freaking out because
Your actuals I'm figuring out.
You like the one that got
Somebody do 22 times 13 pi over 18.
22 times, you could just simplify.
In the graph?
No, in the home screen. I just want to know 22 times 13 pi over 18.
49.9.
49.9? That's feet per minute that it's going.
I can walk faster than that.
Wait, you said 132.
I can do that.
Oh yeah, you could.
But when you have to do like 2 times.
The angular velocity times the radius would give us the linear velocity. All right, guys, where are we at? 16 seconds. We need to get going here. We're kind of putzing along.
16 minutes.
We were at 27.
16 minutes. Yes, it is 16 minutes. We're at 27.3 feet. And how many times have we gone around? It started at the midline here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on our 6th time around. What'd you get, Victor, when you typed in trace 16? I got 27.33. I don't know what, that says feet. That's what that says. I can't even read what I wrote. It says, this is feet. Okay? All right. Next question. Everybody okay?
I'm great. You?
Awesome. I'm good.
Good.
All right. We are going to graph the average monthly heating cost of natural gas in an Oregon home. Okay, so this is their heat bill. These are the months starting in August when it's low. The peak occurs here in what?
February.
February, okay? When it's the coldest, they spend the most on heat or natural gas, if that's what they're heating with. We are going to call, they're labeled over here, but we're going to put numbers so that it can calculate a sine regression for us.
It goes to 12.
And we're going to put those in list 1. And in list 2, we're going to put this cost, okay? Stat, enter, and into list 1 and list 2.
Should we put them? Oh, okay.
I'm going to be really naughty and eat half of this. Who wants the other half?
Wait, we go second.
Do you know how tall the London Eye is?
Hmm?
The London Eye? Do you know how tall it is?
Mm-mm.
Sign reg.
I would, but it's not.
If you want to plot them, you can go to second y equals and turn your stat plot on and do a zoom 9 and it will set the window for you. Oh, I have an equation in. Okay. How do we find the regression equation? Any kind, they're all in the same place. Stat,
You were right, and you were saying.
arrow to the right,
That's like at the very bottom.
all the way down to sine regression.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Now, if you have a newer operating system, it asks you some kind of crazy questions here. You do want it to be using list 1 and list 2, which yours will automatically do if you have an older calculator. The iterations, couldn't really tell you what that does, but it defaults to 3, so I'm going to leave it there. I don't know if you can change the period somehow. I'm not going to leave the period blank. I'm going to go ahead and store it because I want to show you, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Find that Y1 and store it. Just go down to calculate. All right, takes a second, but what does it come up with?
tell you 45.65324754
Okay, you only have to go to one decimal place.
sine 0.52239 x plus negative 2.089.
Plus 65. Okay, well, it's not gonna be A or B.
No. It's already crafted.
Everybody okay?
I bet it's C.
Do I have a number typed in wrong?
No,
Go ahead.
I got that right.
Okay. Did you do stat, enter, and you put all the data in? Okay.
Yeah.
Stat, right arrow to calculate, and then you gotta scroll all the way to the bottom. Probably be faster to go up, actually. It's called the sign regression. Sign regression. Enter. And then do you have a newer calculator so it does that whole iteration? Basically just enter down to the bottom and hit calculate. I did graph it on mine, guys. You don't need to. It goes nicely through every single dot. All right, this is a multiple choice question. So we need to decide which of these is equivalent to our equation. It does end in a plus 65 something. So I'm thinking it's not a B or an A. The only other difference is in here. And this is a non-factored form, but that's what the calculator gave us, was the non-factored form. So we just need to go to the home screen and decide, does 2 pi over 3 or pi over 12 come out to 2? Well, you should be able to tell me something about estimating. You can even use 3 for pi. What's 2 times 3 divided by 3?
It's about approximately 4/3. No, it's
2 times 3 divided by 3 would be 2. Is that about what we got?
2.
Okay. 3 divided by 12, if we were rounding to estimate, right? Pi is about 3. 3 divided by 12 would not be 2. So our choice is going to be C. All right, could you please attempt this one on your own? All you have to do is change your y values a little bit. They're not very creative. The y values are actually off by only a tiny bit, I think. So the equation is very close to what you had on the last one.
Such creativity. How many ones are there in your?
2. Well, the Coleman Johnson, I like that.
Mr.
That was
Jones
great.
was here, wasn't
He was from Air.
he? He doesn't actually.
He was talking about how it's coming up to that. Like, I don't know, like people with negative views in their culture, but it's funny in a way, not but profile.
I'll take it, actually.
I'm not sure if I like Johnson more, if I like, choose one. It's hard. They're both so stupid.
Okay, stat, right arrow.
You get 45.69. 0.523x plus 67.69 plus, wait, no, let's see, dang it.
It does say sketch a scatter plot.
Minus 2.088.
I don't, do I even have the right numbers? Is mine wrong?
No,
No,
yours
that's
is
right, that's right.
Because all I did was add 2 to everything. I cheated, because I think they're exactly 2
It's
off
pretty
from the
much
last
same.
one. So, guys, if you want to see the graph, here's what it looks like. It says to draw a little scatter plot. All right. We are gonna go on and start worksheet 6.
Yes, we win.
Somebody needs to take the other half of this, Lindsay.
I'll
I
take it.
hate s'mores. I'll give it to him.
For real?
You're cut off.
I would have saying that. I would have saying that. I'm not gonna lie. This is bad. I love you.
Whoever's shooting that recording is probably gonna be like, what exactly is going on?
That's all right. They could hear the graham crackers crunching, probably. All right. Shall I admit on camera that this was my evaluation lesson last year? So it's beautifully done here. These are the standards that we are addressing with this lesson. The standards in the Common Core say model periodic phenomena with trigonometric functions, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, sure.
Why is the frame being so condescending? That's not something you want on your
Yes.
For the evaluation, algebra was spelled right.
Where? Oh, algebra. Well, maybe he wasn't paying attention. All right, guys.
That yellow really conflicts with my eyesight.
Okay. Well, we don't have to do anything on this page, and we're not going to spend time on this, but I did want to show you, here's another example of something that's sinusoidal. The actual daylight hours, right? It generally increases. This time of year, the days are starting to get a little bit longer again.
Yes.
And then it'll reach a peak, and then it'll go back. Does that make sense that that would be a sinusoidal function we could graph?
I still don't understand the exact definition of sinusoidal function.
It's not a 10.
Attaining it can be modeled with either a sine or a cosine graph. It doesn't have to be either one. It can be either. Okay. The because a cosine is really just a shift of a sine, the calculator only does sine regressions. Okay. When you write an equation, if it seems easier to you to use a cosine graph, by all means use a cosine graph. Okay. There are some that you won't need a shift for if you do a cosine graph, and that's fine. Sinusoidal means you can use either one. All right. This question is a little tricky in a different way, where in luck they don't give us any angular velocity or anything crazy. But it says, as Rashad rides a Ferris wheel, his distance from the ground varies sinusoidally with time. When the last seat is filled and the Ferris wheel starts, Rashad's seat is in the position shown. Very random spot right here. Okay? He's not at the bottom, he's not at the top, he's not at the halfway. So he's somewhere along here. And which way is he going? Is he going up or down? According to this arrow, the Ferris wheel is turning this way, so he's going up. He will reach the top. He will come back down. He will not hit the ground, we hope. And he will continue, okay? So we need to try to figure out some things from the rest of the story. Can you read the rest of the story and tell me something else we can determine?
We can determine that the amplitude is the weight. No, the vertical shift is 43.
The top is 43 feet above the ground. I don't think that is the vertical shift.
Yeah. Well, what's the middle?
It's the maximum though, isn't it?
Well, the radius is 20, so that's the amplitude.
Okay. Okay, the radius is 20, so this distance is 20, and this is 20, so the lowest he ever gets is,
6, 3. Okay.
yep, if this max is at 43, the lowest he ever gets down here is 3.
So the vertical shift is 23.
No.
Those two lines are totally parallel.
Yeah. What else? All I have so far is an amplitude and a vertical shift, I think. Okay. This is important though. The first time he reaches the top, what does it say on his stopwatch? 3 seconds. So we don't know where he was when he started. He was not at the center line necessarily. That's the problem, is I made mine look like the center line and he's not at the center line. Let me see if I can move this bad boy up a little bit. The center line is further up here somewhere than where he started. All right. It takes 8 seconds to go around, so that tells us this ordered pair is what?
8. Oh no, 3 plus 8.
Is 11.
I'm dumb. I can't do that.
So, if I'm using sign on
Sign match.
that's what it's called.
It's going to give you a sine equation.
So even if I use my cosine, it'll give me a sine.
You have to only type data points into list 1 and list 2 to use it. So it's not an equation you're putting in. Okay. What else do we know? What is the length of this period then?
8. 8s.
So what's going to go into our an equation for B?
1 over 4 pi. Oh no, he finally, dang it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Shh, guys. Can anybody write the equation yet?
Is it sign?
It's a sine, right?
Nope.
No, it's a cosine.
I would do a
That'd
cosine.
be
Oh,
easier.
then
Because this was not at the center line. It was a random spot down here. So we need to say from this maximum. Marco, what are we going to start with? What's the amplitude?
20.
Okay. We decided to do a cosine. What's the B? Mariana, do you know what we're going to put in for B?
pi over 4.
Good job. What about the phase shift? Zachary, do you know the phase shift? It's to the right 3. How do we write that in our equation?
Elizabeth just left.
Anybody helping him?
X minus 3?
Good. Okay. And the vertical shift at the back, Zachary? Yep. That's okay. Plus 23. All right. Type it in your calculator, guys. And then I would just do trace to find all these values. If you turned a stat plot on for the last question, you will want to turn it off. It does ask us to go out, well, I don't think it asks for anything past 11 seconds, so we could just do 0 to 11, but I think I'll go to like 20. Was it seconds or minutes, guys?
Second, no, I don't know. What is the question?
I think it's seconds.
Yeah, seconds.
And it goes up as high as 43, so I think I'll do like 0 to 50. It does ask you to figure out where he was when he started timing, right?
Yeah.
How high he was, that's when t equals 0. You could do that in the home screen, but you can do it from trace, yep.
Weird number.
I got like 8.9 for where he was at 0.
Okay, maybe that is weird. I think it's 3.2.
Parenthesis issue, maybe?
I don't know.
I think we need an extra parenthesis around the x minus 3.
Oh.
Because I'm thinking otherwise it's just multiplying that.
Oh, okay.
Doing multiplication and then the subtraction.
I did not know that you could just do trace. I always said second trace route.
Oh, no,
I had to do that.
trace and times.
Mine is
Yes. Math came in tomorrow. Don't miss bus.
I take my
Yeah.
so you want to burn that back.
You have a stat plot on it, you can go second y
You go
equals.
to second memory
I was thinking 2,000.
and
Turn that guy off.
But, how about it?
go all
Better?
over.
Your window doesn't look as appropriate as it could be. Or else you forgot the plus 23 on the back, I don't know. Right, did everybody get this one done?
Yes.
Okay. We will pick up with the rest of this worksheet on Monday, but we have finished the chapter, guys. You need to work on the homework check, including worksheets 7 and 8, which are all on this stuff, these word problems. Okay, it was a packet that was, I just put in your notes. And book page 536, you're going to be really strapped to do that. It's 3 questions, okay?
Wow.
I will tell you the book, page 536 is only 3 questions. I will tell you the book does not word things kindly. So they're kind of complicated. But we can go over questions on Monday. All right, have a great weekend.